Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Silent Hill 2 Remake commentary. We finished with the apartment, so time to go see what the mysterious Room 201 has in store for us. So, gotta go up a floor.
I like how, uh, you know, James here subscribes to the Resident Evil school of injury management where no matter where you got hurt, you clutch your
My
side.
tummy hurt. Like my tummy hurt.
I mean, this is just a thing video games will always like have that doesn't really make sense for other mediums. Like most of the time if you get like a bite to the arm or leg or get like shot in the chest, like, regardless of the fact whether or not that would kill you, it's more just a matter of recovering from injuries takes time and you can't just drink a protein shake and feel better. Honestly,
That's quitter
the
talk.
syringes, which are probably just doped up with like painkillers and other shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Make
it's like no
more
matter where he got
sense.
injured, Ethan can just pour magical splooge juice on his hand, and he's magically better.
Yeah.
Because he only gets injured on his hands, because that's how they do it in Resident Evil 7
Sure
and
enough,
8.
that's the source of his power.
Okay, I know that was just the texture loading in, but it did kind of feel like, oh, I forgot my reading glasses.
James, I don't know if it's the beer talking, but you got a butt that don't quit.
Are you doing this specifically to get the ending you want?
Yes.
Oh, do you have to pull out the letter every once in a while in the photo?
Every once in a while, sure, but it's not like a hard point cut system where you can... I've seen people get it without looking at the photo, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Does the photo do anything, or is it just there because he would have it?
It's just there because he would have it.
No.
You good?
No.
Why does this one specific enemy freak him out so much more? Oh, because it's Pyramid Head and he's killing the other enemies. Oh, and it's
No, I
implied
don't-
sexuality.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that's what's being implied here.
Oh, okay, man. There's so much symbolism happening here, and it's all sex. That's
The helmet stays on during sex.
I'm sorry, Pyramid Head. You see, this is symbolic as to how James used to watch his parents fuck it.
With the helmet on too. Like,
Listen, I don't know what his parents were into. They could be into some weird shit.
neither do I. But it's also goddamn.
Ethan's like what, 30, and this game's set in the early 2000s.
James.
James, did I say Ethan?
James. The character's name is Ethan's from Village.
Okay.
I like the unnatural ways Pyramid Head moves in this. I mean, Silent Hill enemies have always had that aspect to them, but I don't remember Pyramid Head in the original having like particularly interesting mannerisms.
The interesting thing about Pyramid Head is, aside from the titular Pyramid Head, he looks more like a normal guy. Like, he's not as monstrous as some of the other stuff.
I never understood how James thought shooting this guy with a gun when he's wearing a big metal pyramid all over his entire front was ever a good idea.
Given the dark environment, the lighting, he was probably banking on it. Maybe it's actually cardboard. I can't tell from
that is
here.
a costume in this game, a cardboard pyramid head you can wear.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to take my chances. Shoots once, fuck, it's metal. I'm going to shoot again, though, just to be sure.
He just doesn't give a shit that James tried to shoot him 4 times.
I like how they added the detail that shooting the gun through the closet door actually breaks the slats on the closet door, because in the original PlayStation version, he just kind of shoots in the general direction of the door, and you never see that happen.
That was weird.
Also, I tell a lie. Pyramid Head did have one unique mannerism that I remember, and it's that moment where he kind of like reaches up and tries to adjust the pyramid on his face, but can't because it's an unmoving metal pyramid.
So, I know that Pyramid Head is a normal enemy. Is it possible to kill him in gameplay?
In this version, no. In the original version, if you do enough damage to him on the first time you fight him, you do get the giant's knife.
I always liked this detail about the apartments where they just built the buildings so close together that their fire exits are just like right next to each other, and that winds up being the transition.
Yeah, but now we're in the other world.
Yes.
It looks just as shitty as the normal world.
A lot more rusted.
It is a lot more rusted. The transition to the more out there version of this other world is relatively gradual. Like you'll get a room or two that are just like way more decayed than normal, but otherwise look like they could exist. And then you'll see something odd like metal grating on the doors, or the wall has these metal rusted gratings poking out where the decay has happened. And then you'll move into the next room and the effect is even stronger. And it will just gradually strengthen from room to room until suddenly everything is rusted and decayed. And it's just like, what the hell? This is not actually what it would look like if it had naturally decayed.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Put that. You have no fucking idea where that's been. Put it down, James. No.
That's
Put it
me.
down,
That's
James.
that's me this entire playthrough. This guy needs to wash his hands real bad.
Oh, he hasn't even gotten to the worst thing where he needs to wash his hands afterwards.
Oh God.
More importantly, you got a map.
Now, I think I forgot to ask last time. The red squiggly lines are blockades, I assume.
Yes.
Where at least parts of the level you just can't proceed. Does that update in real time as you run into more blockades?
Yes.
Okay. So it's literally just like one of those things that you don't know.
Oh yeah, that was true in Silent Hill in Silent Hill 2 on PS2, and also in Silent Hill 1, where the map would just be an ordinary ass map of whatever building you're in, and the character would scribble in little notes as you explored, like this door won't open, this door probably will open, but it's locked. I don't know how he can tell the difference, but he can.
So he's map scrolling like he's playing like an old fucking NES game in real time.
Yeah,
Back when the internet
he's
didn't
into
exist.
Etrian Odyssey.
And
Yeah.
and in Silent Hill 3, if you're playing as Heather and she finds something interesting, she'll put in a little doodle about it. There's an entire section toward the end of Silent Hill 3 where you don't get a map at all, and she has to draw the map by hand as she goes.
That happens in this game too, in the labyrinth.
It does, yeah. Although I'm not sure if it happened in the original.
Listen, that poor guy was just dancing in his kitchen, having the time of his life, and you're just fucking with him.
I think it did happen in the original, now I'm thinking about it. It's Silent Hill 1, where you had an area that had no map, and the character just did not draw their own stupid map. It was that final area where it's just like a hodgepodge of rooms and hallways and stuff from existing areas.
One thing I do find interesting is that the layout of the apartment is now much more nonsensical. Like, previously, everything sort of made sense in how it was laid out. Like it felt like a real apartment. But for here, like, the front and half of this apartment is separated by the bathroom, which doesn't, like, make any sense. So...
Good fight, Slugger.
As long as you win in the end. Ooh, piece of candy.
what flavor would Silent Hill candy be?
Well, from the look of the wrapper on that one...
Some have described it as otherworldly.
From the look of the wrapper on that one, it's peanut butter M&Ms.
I got, like, Mr. Goodbar vibes, just because...
Could be Mr. Goodbar, yeah.
Because, like, it's more box... Because it's a box, obviously, and the peanut M&Ms I only ever see them in bags. Although, I guess they do have the boxes, like, specifically if you're at a movie theater and want to pay...
Yeah, the movie theater, like, candy.
Yeah, if you want to pay $6 for a pack of M&Ms, you know...
You sweet, innocent creature, $6. John chuckled out loud.
I like that detail in the remake where when you find something that James will make a note about on his map, he actually physically takes the map out and notes it down. Rather than just some text notice saying, oh, your map has been updated. You actually have to be paying attention to what James is doing to see that he's noting it down.
Here's our safe room for the other world, our main hub, as it were. So, this is
Safe
where
room.
Yeah, this doesn't look much more safe than anywhere else we've been.
I'm sorry.
I mean, nothing else comes in here. So
You can tell it's safe because the save room music is playing. You know? That's how this works.
It's true.
Also, this room gets gradually more and more decayed the more progress you make in the dungeon. So, like, you come back here multiple times as you progress, and parts of the walls and floor and ceiling are all falling apart more and more every time you come back here. It's really creepy. Honestly, this one room kind of gives me, it reminds me of The Room, not the movie, the Silent Hill game. It reminds.
It does.
We had to clarify that twice in this commentary already.
So, what was the deal with Silent Hill, the room? Like, I know that you're in a room and you teleport to different parts of Silent Hill through doors.
So the premise is that, like, several days before the game starts, your main character wakes up one day to find that his door is magically chained shut, and he's stuck in his apartment and cannot contact the outside world. But eventually a hole appears on his wall, and he's able to crawl through that hole to reach other places in the nightmare world, specifically.
Did he live in Silent Hill, or no?
No, it actually takes place somewhere else entirely, although it does have a connection to Silent Hill through Walter Sullivan. But basically, he keeps traveling to these other places and encountering people who are being murdered one by Walter Sullivan, and constantly failing to save them, until he finally succeeds at saving one of them, and from there on, the story gets pretty chaotic.
Okay. Because it is a very interesting premise for a game, like, especially a horror game. It's also, I can understand why some people might have thought it was wonky, because I can imagine the structure for that kind of thing would feel much less organic than the kinds of worlds you would see in Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that is a bit of the major thing about Silent Hill 4 that puts people off is that the gameplay and atmosphere is not like what you would expect. The combat and the gameplay has been rejiggered, and in terms of atmosphere, there's no darkness and flashlight anymore. It actually kind of homogenizes the game in a weird way, where instead of having to journey through the dark and lighting up certain areas and some places being brighter or darker, the entire game is just kind of monochrome.
I get you.
But Silent Hill 4 is a very interesting game and worth playing through at least once. It's just not as fine-tuned as the other three.
It was also the last game Team Silent worked on, I believe.
Yeah.
Did the team dissolve, or did they do other stuff after that?
I think it was partially because Konami being Konami. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know that, like, the Silent Hill moniker got thrown to a whole bunch of spin-offs in the late 2000s and early 2010s before PT happened, and then the series just kind of fell off a cliff until this remake came out.
The thing about Silent Hill 4, though, is that, like, for all of its flaws, it is still a very unique and inventive game. In fact, I don't think there's any other horror game quite like The Room. So, like, even though it's imperfect, it's the kind of game that's giving you something that you're only really going to get from that one game. So it's worth putting up with the flaws to experience it, you know?
Those are always the kinds of games that are most interesting. Like, it's where, you know, and those are also the kind of games where if you're the person who just clicks with it, that's the kind of game that you'll, like, adore for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Versus, you know,
versus Silent Hill Homecoming, which is really just trying to be Resident Evil 4 but with melee.
What system was Homecoming on again?
PS3, I think.
PS3, okay.
Yeah, PS3 and Xbox 360. I think Downpour was only ever on PS3, but I'm not sure.
And Shattered Memories is the Wii one where it tried to psychoanalyze you, right?
Yes.
I think Shadow Memories was Wii and PSP or Vita.
And I know WayForward got their hands on it for a game.
So this is the point at which the game throws a few curveballs at you. These enemies are basically the same as the regular straitjacket women, but They're all red and bloody, which indicates that they're stronger. And they are stronger, but the big problem is that when they die, they explode into goo on the ground, and it is acidic goo that will damage you if you are standing too close to it. So every time they go down, you have to back away and hope that this time is the time they actually explode instead of getting up and crawling at your feet.
Did the remake like add any enemies or majorly change how they work from the original?
It changed up the boss fights quite a lot, which is good because the boss fights in the original are fucking awful. But the major enemy, the main enemies, they all like adhere to their original concepts. It's mostly their placement and how they interact with the new version of the combat system that makes them feel different.
I'm assuming the original boss fights suffered the Metal Gear Solid problem where the gameplay is not designed for these kind of encounters.
That, and it was a fixed camera game with really like tight quarters boss rooms that made it like hard to really do anything interesting with the bosses. So in order to make them balanced, they just had to make them boring.
Is that a complaint across lots of Metal Gear games that the bosses are bad?
One more time. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Is that like something people complain about a lot with Metal Gear, that the bosses are bad?
Well, specifically for Solid 1. And, you know, your mileage may vary because, like, I personally think that the boss fights were not very good in Solid 1. Like, the only one that was remotely interesting was Psycho Mantis. And maybe the final encounter with Liquid Snake. But they're very stilted, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I like how people complain that Twin Snakes ruined the Ocelot fight by letting you shoot in first person through the wiring, but I'm like, that's the first interesting combat mechanic this boss has ever had. In the original, it's just running around a square outside and trying to auto aim off screen until you hit him.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's still that mostly in Twin Snakes. Is that it's just easier, and you can. And Ocelot sounds like a bitch when you hit him with a trank dart.
I mean, I think most people would sound like a bitch if you hit him with a trank dart, though. To be fair.
All right. I like how this map is like completely like smudged out 3/4 of it.
Yeah, because it's all dank and gross. But our first order of business is finding their first clock hand, so we can open the door and continue on from there. So
the more esoteric Resident Evil style puzzles always make more sense in the nightmare world because it's a nightmare, you know?
Yeah, they don't have to invent an architect who just really loved escape rooms in order to have anything make sense. Actually, that's a good question. Do they ever explain in Resident Evil 4 why Shitlips Blonde Kid has a giant stone statue of himself that's animated to run at 30 miles an hour?
I think in the remake, he's actively building it when you find him. So the answer is he built it himself because he's fucking crazy.
Okay. Okay, good enough, I guess.
Also, he really hates being called by his maiden name, Shitlips.
Shitlips, so I'm sorry. Maybe you should stop being a Shitlips. Man.
Back in my day, we used to call him Midget Napoleon. I never hear that nickname for him anymore.
Is this the problem of woke?
Man, I can't believe they made Napoleon woke.
Did the window just did the window just like fall shut behind you?
yes.
I can't tell because you didn't look back at it. Oh.
Yeah, that was basically exactly what I was expecting to happen when you turn a giant red thing in this universe. It's just like, what did you think was going to happen?
It's a horror game. We were just turning a crank. What I was expecting to happen was the crank to pop off and drop into our inventory. Because that
happens later.
That's how cranks work in horror games, don't you know?
We have a surplus of ammo, so I don't mind using a little bit of it. So
Yeah.
Can you max out?
no.
Oh, okay.
One of the things about Silent Hill is that it actually doesn't have any inventory limits.
Oh, wow.
So like by the end of my Silent Hill 1 playthrough, I had more guns and ammo and healing items than I could ever use. And I was actually going out of my way during that playthrough to get all of the items, although I missed one or two somehow along the way.
I mean, a part of it is also to consider is knowing what you can ignore and just run past, because that was the key of surviving in Resident Evil. It's realizing what rooms you're not going to backtrack as much on. There's no reason to wasting ammo on zombies in there.
Well, Resident Evil is much, much, much more focused on resource management, from what I can tell, than Silent Hill. Like, due to, like, inventory...
Specifically classic, yeah.
Well, even Resident Evil 4, you know, it's a different sort of thing, but keeping
Yeah, 4 drowned you in ammo.
Yeah, but trying to make sure that your stupid briefcase was packed the right way and that you could fit everything you found. As somebody who's only played Resident Evil 4,
Hold on, but couldn't you argue, though, that needing to make sure that everything is organized and neatly packed in your attaché case is a result of them giving you too much shit to put in the case?
Listen, I'm just saying, as somebody who wasn't very good at the game when I played it, and who has only played it once.
Someone wrote James' name in the death note.
Yeah, I died from the residual poison that was still on the ground.
James Silent Hill.
Is Silent his middle name or his last name?
I don't know.
I do have to
I hate
say,
dealing with multiple of these guys.
the gross, like, stomach acid is the worst Call of Duty jam to ever be thrown on your face in any video game that I've seen. Like...
You ever play Left 4 Dead?
Oh, not in a long time. I think last time I played Left 4 Dead was probably, like, 2012.
Yeah. Well, Left 4 Dead had the boomers, and they literally threw up on you.
Oh, right, they did.
One of the creepy aspects about this Nightmare World segment is that you keep flitting in and out of the real world in specific rooms. Did you notice this room is looking disturbingly normal compared to everything else we've been through lately?
Why do you say that? Now the damn light's tearing off.
But we come in here and yeah,
Freaking legs.
everything is normal. I mean, it's a freaking Haikyuu in here, but it's still normal.
I thought this whole apartment was the fake world, though, and the other apartment was the real world.
Ah, but that's the thing. In specific rooms, you just enter the real world for a moment, and then you'll walk through one door and then walk back out, and you'll be in the same room you were just in, but it's the Nightmare World again. It keeps throwing little curveballs at you. It's fun.
Dark Aether.
I did notice that you walked from one bathroom straight into another bathroom at one point, and I'm like, okay, they really just wanted to make sure that this listing was 3 beds, 2 baths.
And the rent's still too damn high.
Yeah, $4,000 a month to live in Silent Hill.
Fuck this.
Did you see what that enemy was doing? It was just like holding its arms up, or its second pair of legs up, so that it would be like hidden.
Oh, there it is. Now you got the valve.
So that it would be hidden against the wall, but you entered from the side, so you got to see it hiding from the side. And then the moment you aimed your gun at it, it was like, oh, oops, jig is up. Okay, we're back in the Nightmare World again.
I do wonder how those guys open doors, though, like, with their little, like, ankle nub hands. Gotta suck. I feel bad for them. Although I guess the straitjacket women don't even have hands, so, you know, I guess you should be grateful for what you have as the moral of the story.
Yeah, just use your mouth, use your teeth, turn the knob.
Oh, ew. How difficult of a game is Silent Hill considered to be?
Well, there are different difficulty settings, so you can make it as easy or as hard as you want it to be.
On the default settings.
Pretty average, I'd say. It's not like crazy hard. I watched a lot of streamers come play it when it came out, and they were able to get through without any experience for the franchise. So,
okay, I just noticed there's been a huge spike in the number of enemies in this room. versus earlier in the game.
When you get to the Nightmare World, the enemy density does rank up, yeah.
Okay. Like, the beginning of the game definitely wasn't too bad in terms of that, but I figured that was both a combination of, like, set dressing for the world and, like, tutorial kind of land. So this does seem like a difficulty spike compared to...
I mean, part of the reason it seems to be getting harder is probably more a matter of Ryan's playstyle being more fast-paced. If you're going through a bit more cautiously, you can usually take stock of where the enemies are and sort of corral them into a choke point. But Ryan isn't doing that. He's just...
Hey, Ryan, eyes on you. Gotta impress the ladies. He says as he's covered in 3 gallons of vomit.
He's just running into a room without stopping at the door to look. And when he dodges one enemy, another enemy jumps out from around a corner and bops him in the head. It's like, what are you doing?
Okay, but consider this. None of it is real.
That is true. The sexy nurses will never go on a date with you. No matter how you play.
They won't.
More complaints about my gameplay and more in the next part of Silent Hill 2.
Those are complaints. I think more observations is probably the better.
Yeah, I observed that he's playing badly, was what Lewis said.
Oh, come on.